Hello there! Today I want to share the joy of cycling with you and also introduce a concept or an idea of mine about cycling, which is the less is more bicycle. Some background on this first, maybe. So I was looking for a bike for winter, so with lights and fenders, not too small tires, hopefully a steel frame, not looking too bad. And I was doing this because I don't want to use my other bikes in the winter because they either are not convenient enough, so they are lacking lights and fenders, they have too small tires, or they're too expensive to just lock them somewhere and leave them behind for 1 hour or more. And when looking at used bikes online, which are not too expensive, less than 200 euros, I stumbled upon this one and couldn't resist but try it out, even though it is too small for me a bit. But I mean, you can always do something about that. And I met its really nice owner who also put it together from single parts, so the frame and the parts. And I think he put it together with such love and dedication, and in general also is so enthusiastic about bikes that I was able to resist even less after meeting him and then trying out the bike. So yes, I ended up buying it, and ever since I've put on some parts of my own, such as another stem which is longer, and a Brooks saddle, a used one as well, and also fenders and a kickstand. And yes, this is the bike that brought me to the idea of less is more, because I wasn't expecting so much of it, but in the end, I'm finding myself enjoying this bike most of all my other bikes, which might have been new and more expensive, but still. So maybe to explain this idea again, I think with a bicycle like this, there are not such high expectation towards it, because it's never intended to fulfill all expectations in the first place, because it's cheap and it's old and used, and maybe some parts don't look good anymore. But I think like it's this exactly that sometimes lead to the less is more effect, because it's never meant to fulfill all expectations in the first place. That's when it actually can bring you more joy, because you get such a relaxed attitude towards it. You don't expect anything, so you leave it room to surprise you even more. Okay, but let's now do a proper bike check. So some parts here is the dynamo hub and the lights, 40 lux, nothing special, but still enough. Top light line plus is the rear light. Then we have really nice SKS fenders and some flap. There's a kickstand, of course, because I think you need one on your bicycle. And then there's these really nice silver cranks and pedals, Shimano Alfine cranks. Also for the front I have a mud flap, because this helps you protect your shoes when it's raining. XT V-brakes, completely enough for anything except for maybe heavy loads in heavy rain in the mountains. Nice grips and a good bell. Maybe it could be a bit louder, but the gold matches the frame so nicely with these golden lines somewhere. Then my trusty old lock. This is an Arbus Bordeaux and it's probably 10 years old, maybe even older. But I mean, it still does its job. Sometimes it's difficult to fiddle it back in there, but it works. Then a Brooks saddle I got for 20 euros from eBay Kleinanzeigen, the German online flea market. I had to get a new adjustment screw for it, but otherwise it's super comfortable and I really like its patina and used looks. Shimano Diore derailleur, which has been dented a bit before. The cassette is probably too small, and also the chain is probably too short, but it works. And then a new chainring, narrow wide, which looks really cool. I also like the silver-black combination. And really nice gravel Tunwall tires by Continental. I think they make some of the best looking Tunwalls. And the Shimano, I think the Dynamo Hub is quite one of the best ones of Shimano from some decade ago or so. Yeah, again, this is a less is more bicycle for me. I think it has some very fancy parts, as you have just seen, but it has not been very expensive, and I think this is something that can make a bike also very enjoyable. Of course, there's nothing better than fulfilling your dream with your dream bike, but the more it is your dream bike and probably also was pricey, the higher is also the anxiety or the fear of damaging, maybe even breaking or losing it, just locking it somewhere. And also the higher are the expectation with regard to the performance. So I think that's what makes a less is more bike tempting. So and then back to the route you've seen in the beginning of the video. This is what I want to show you today, and it starts a bit south of the center of Munich, in parallel to the river, the Isar, and there is a really nice route that leads out of the city to the south. And I would describe this route as some kind of step upwards, like it's consistently 10 meters higher than to the left in the otherwise flat Munich. And in parallel to the river Isar, this goes all the way south out of the city. And this is really nice. There's a really nice path there where only pedestrians and bicycles are allowed and where you can just nicely go by the river, by the Isar. So yeah, that's what I want to try out today and go until the Großhesselower Brücke with my less is more bicycle. So I have to go across the busy streets a bit, but then here we are on this um, like step I described, where it goes downwards to the right, approximately 10 meters. And from now on, we can just enjoy the ride out of the city all the way to the south, towards the direction of the Alps. We are approaching the stadium now of 1860 Munich, the other big soccer club in Munich, and they have a match today. You can see the people sitting up there. I also definitely want to go there one day for a match. I'm not that much into soccer, but sometimes it still intrigues me to go see a soccer match, so probably I will go there soon. And yeah, this path is so nice. What I like about it in particular, of course, is that there are no cars. Because cycling next to cars is always such a big difference to the opposite if you have no cars around. I think it's two different activities actually. You have to be so careful when cycling around cars. Munich is not a very cycling friendly city, I would say. There's not enough dedicated cycling lanes. Sometimes you have to just go on the street with the cars, especially in my area. And also, there's so many strange spots where, for example, the dedicated cycling lane suddenly just ends and you have a big, how to say, gap or um, like 10 centimeters high where you have to get over with your bicycle. So yeah, I'm not so much into that. So I like paths like this, especially now with the sun coming out again, where you can just ride relaxed. I mean, there's pedestrians walking around, but it's wide enough to share it easily with pedestrians and other cyclists. So it's very relaxed riding here compared to the typical city traffic. If you believe it or not, we are actually parking our bicycles here. I think it has been around 5 kilometers now from where we have started, and we decided to just take the bag with us and walk the rest of the way to the Groß Hesseloher Brücke, which is our goal for today. And I think the bicycles are properly locked, and now we're ready to enjoy the rest of the way as a walk. So again, here you can see it goes down for roughly 10 meters and there's the Isar. Lots of other people are walking around and we see bicycles down there and of course beautiful autumn leaves. So I think it's a really nice feeling if you can easily leave your bicycle behind and not have to worry about it too much. And again, I think this is the biggest advancement or benefit of a less is more bicycle. I mean, yeah, I've put a quite nice saddle on it and there are some other fancy parts, but still I think I also don't want to like play with my luck and have it stolen actually, but I'm just arguing it's a bit more relaxed leaving a bike like this behind than, for example, my Brompton. I hope you can relate to that. Maybe my fellow Brompton owners would agree. Yeah, even though it looks really nice and sunny, it was actually quite cold already, so I was still walking around with only my sweater, and I hope I'm not catching a cold. Um, Also with the sun going down slowly towards the evening, it's getting colder very quickly. I found some very nice little leaf. Maybe I will add it to the end of this little clip or video. And there we are. That's the Großhesselower Brücke. So trains go on top and the pedestrians, cyclists and pedestrians go down or in the middle of it. They can pass. So this is on top and down there's where the pedestrians go. No trains. Didn't want to wait for such a long time. So we went down. And I think it's a really impressive look if you just look through the bridge and also down in both directions. Water of the Isar, crystal clear. And this is where the Alps are if we go further south. A really nice spot and also a nice cycling destination, I would say. In the future, I might go down for a trip even further south, a longer trip, and see how far I can go. Maybe I will go all the way to the start of the Alps. Let's see. I think I would really like to do that. And then we are back at our bikes. And I was slow with unlocking it, so my girlfriend already went ahead. So that's when I had to be quick. Alright, and now heading home together as the sun is gone and it's getting colder, and maybe a little wrap up again. So this is just an idea I wanted to share alongside this nice ride today and the bike. This bike I bought as a winter bike for leaving it somewhere, but still being convenient enough for me with my convenient four, as I like to call them, fenders, rack, dynamo powered lights and a kickstand. This just brought me to this idea of less is actually more, because I wanted less and I expected less, but got more than I expected or wanted. A lot of fun working on this bike and even more fun riding it around and then just leaving it somewhere. Okay, I feel a bit bad about bragging about leaving everything easily behind because my girlfriend's bike is actually a bit more expensive, the rotor. So maybe we should find a nice um, less is more bike for her as well in the future. Yeah, the soccer match is over as well. Fans are leaving. I think the police horses have been stored again. And that's it for today. Thank you, and I hope to see you around next time.